So finally, I put in my application. They told that in case I need to get more than 7.5 lakhs, I will have to go for a loan which is based on collateral, wherein times are getting really difficult. The latest announcements that's come with respect to study permits, international students staying here after that, or you're managing your living expenses as a student, or even after that, is even more tedious than just getting a visa and coming here. Hello everyone, welcome to MALZ vlogs. Uh, I am doing this video because this is very, very important at this point of time, wherein times are getting really difficult. The latest announcements that's come with respect to study permits, international students, increase of GIC funds. There are so many things that's been happening in the last couple of months that, getting a student visa or showing those GIC funds, or even paying for your tuition fees is going to get difficult. And also considering the fact that Canada is getting so expensive, it is really important that you have enough fund to actually sustain here. Coming here as a student is one thing, but I always tell in most of my videos that um, you know staying here after that, or you're managing your living expenses as a student, or even after that, is even more tedious than just getting a visa and coming here. So it's very, very important that you have that financial independence when you come to a country like this, especially when you're leaving things back home, leaving people back home, leaving your family back home, and then you're relocating to a new place. The last tension that you need is about finance. So I'm going to talk about a very important topic today, which is education loan. I can't stress enough about how important an education loan is. I couldn't get it, and that's the main reason I want you to actually understand why it is important, or like whether you should go for it, you shouldn't go for it, what are the ways you can get an education loan, and things of that sort. So, like I mentioned, things are getting tougher here, and we should always consider things like, okay, if you're a person who has enough of financial backing or support from your parents or your family, then it's a different ball game altogether. I'm talking about people who have financial difficulties, right? Like in my case, I couldn't actually, I mean, I keep telling my husband, I have no clue where the money came from. I had to like sell my gold. I had to like sell off whatever savings, I mean, like mutual funds and those kind of things. I had to break all my savings and then put together the tuition fees or the GIC fund that I had to pay, and then also, seek help from friends and family. And you know how that happens. There are very few people. I mean, I'm not blaming anybody at this point, but there are very few people who will actually lend a helping hand when you are in a tough situation, and those people will be remembered. So I'm really going to talk about some of the difficulties that you face as a student when you come here, and what are the difficulties in getting an education loan. See, I'm telling you, as a person who came to Canada at the age of 37 as a student, I found it really difficult to actually, find out ways to get an education loan, or how do I manage my expenses here. Yes, like I mean, the overall expense was much lesser compared. I mean, if you take the last 2 years, but now everything is expensive. Like, don't come under the assumption that you will come to Canada, make a lot of money, you can pay for your tuition fees, and you can pay for your second year fees. You can do that, you can do this, you have to buy a car. There's so many things that you need to do after coming here. Don't think that you can do all that with your part-time jobs. That's not going to work out. So what I want to tell you is, like, when you're coming here as a student, you should feel relaxed, and you should also feel less burdened as compared to when you come with a lot of financial obligations. So when I was actually looking out for options to come to Canada, one of the things I considered was education loan, because obviously I didn't want to like ask my parents, neither did I want to like um, you know whatever. I didn't want to ask certain people, so the only few people I asked is like my one or two of my friends whom I knew could help me. And then I had to like sell off my gold thanks to my parents, that from people from Kerala, India, we have a little bit of gold that our parent gives us, which comes very handy in such situations. So that was my plan. But at the end of it, I was thinking, okay, maybe this is not sufficient. I should approach a bank and get a education loan. Guys, I can't tell you how stressful it is. First of all, you have to like find a bank which will actually provide an education loan for a mature student or for even regular students. So there are public and private banks. In case of private banks, overall, when you approach a bank for an education loan, they might charge around 13 to 15% or even more. Same with public banks. So I had actually approached. I'm naming the banks because these are the banks I had an account with SBI as well as Axis Bank. Axis Bank, obviously, I didn't entertain it much because obviously it's a private bank, and like I didn't, I was not too sure because I was advised by a lot of people not to go for private banks because they might charge a high interest rate. So I had to go with SBI, which I had an account with, and and I can't tell you how difficult it was, because first of all, it's like you're going to meet the Prime Minister of India, right? The bank manager is as valuable as that. So the minute you walk into the bank, you feel so tense. The pressure of having the right documents. They won't even give you like proper checklist, or there's no guidance of filling the application. So finally, I put in my application. They told that in case I need to get more than 7.5 lakhs, I will have to go for a loan which is based on collateral, and I don't have any collateral. I mean, obviously my parents have properties, or Prashant's parents have property, but we personally haven't bought any property yet, mainly because we were not sure that we'll be in Bangalore or at any other place. So we hadn't invested in anything, and there was no way we could actually show any kind of collateral. And at that point of time, I was so feeling so dejected because there was nobody to help. And I didn't I even suggested to my parents, in fact my dad, is there any way we can show some kind of collateral and all. But obviously there are what is it, complications behind that also. So then nothing of that sort worked out, and then finally I told them, okay, if it's like 7.5 lakhs, okay, I'll go for that, because the rest of it I'll raise by myself. Can you approve that? Then they told me they need that document, this document, bring that, bring this, you bring your ITR 3 years, that. So you're running around for everything. Then you take it to the bank. They won't even given like a proper acknowledgement of they've received the documents, they're working on it or anything. You need to keep following up and things like that. Finally, after submitting everything and going ahead with the process, they reviewed and they told me that they are not going to approve for a 1 year course. So obviously, I was left with no option. I had to like sell off my personal assets, or whatever, post office savings, and mutual funds, and whatever savings I had like emptied everything and then paid my tuition fee and my GIC fund. And I'm sure many of you all know my journey. I was going through a major financial as well as personal issue at the end of 2020. So there was no way I could like get money from anywhere. And I was at my worst stage at that time. Okay, so finally somehow I managed to pay the fees. I managed to show the GIC fund and everything. But I really wished at that point of time that there was some kind of platform or some kind of assistance that students of this sort can get, because it's not only mature students like me, even youngsters. Not necessarily everybody's parents are very supportive, or they're there to help these students with the documentation. So the whole process was like too much to handle, because you already have tension of leaving your house and coming to a new country, of leaving your family and things like that. And now things are getting much tougher, because in Canada you have to show around 20,000 Canadian as a GIC fund. Then obviously the fees of all these courses would have also increased. In case you're coming as a family and you want to bring your spouse, you have to take a master's course, or you have to take a PhD course, or things on a master's level, so that you can bring your spouse. Then there all these small colleges, they're not able to provide postgraduate work permit, because of which you need maybe select public colleges, or universities, which will be much more expensive. So I was actually going through a lot of options as of, how are these people going to afford, or like I know a lot of people who reached out to me saying that I'm finding it very difficult at this point because I'm not able to fund for my course, or I'm not able to bring my spouse, so should I go for masters? But masters I can't afford and things. So that's when I came across the right platform. So obviously, I usually don't refer anything unless and until I have personally used it, or else there are good reviews or good, what do you say, feedback regarding that particular service. So I came across this particular website called as Gyandan. It's www.gyandan.com. The first thing I did is go and check their Google reviews, and they had like amazing Google reviews. So you should definitely check their Google reviews first. Don't go by my word. Again, I'm telling you, I'm not telling you to go and sign up with these people, but I genuinely found them reasonable, or as a good service, and that's why I'm referring it to you guys. So check out their Google reviews. They have really amazing Google reviews. They have helped around 15,000 plus students, so that's not a joke. And most of the students who have gone through them are extremely happy with their services. So, what is Gyan then? So, when I was actually looking out for an education loan, like I told you, I had to approach like multiple banks or multiple, what is it, standalone financial assistance kind of like credit providing institutions and those kind of things. Instead of that, Gyandan is one single, like it's like a one-stop solution for your education loan. I know it sounds too good to be true, but yes. So as I will actually put the link below. Just click on that and then check if you are eligible for their services, or if you are eligible for your loan. What are your criteria? So how it happens is, instead of you approaching all the banks or all the institutions, financial institutions, Gyandan will have all of them listed. They will take some of your details, and then this is like an AI tool which will take your details, analyze, and then give you the right products. So if there are like 15, 20, for example, if there are 15 to 20 banks that are there on Gyandan portal, they will actually take details from you, look at your background, and then suggest maybe two or three or four or five, depending on your portfolio. So it sounded too good, because like I know the difficulty of actually going to several institutions, waiting there and trying to meet the bank manager because you need it. But in this case, it is just one portal that will give you an access to all the institutions. So that's one thing. The next thing is that, there are, several charges, or there are like, uh, you might have to bribe somebody, or I'm talking about Indian banks, or wherein you might need to like see the manager in a particular thing, and maybe pamper him a little bit and all that, things work out. You know how it works. So for me, all that was a complete no-no. And that's one thing I like about Gyandan, is that they do not charge anything to the students. That is, whatever services you avail from Gyandan is absolutely free. There are no hidden charges. And I really verified this, and I have understood that it is a tie-up between Gyandan and the institutions, or whatever tie-up they have. We are not aware of it. As far as I'm concerned, they're not charging students for these particular services. So I'm going to tell you about how the whole thing happens. So first thing you need to do is to click the link below, and then check your eligibility, whether you can avail the service. Once you do that, they might actually ask you to upload the documents, or else they will also offer a pickup service. Things can't get better than this, right? So a person will be sent to your address wherever you are mentioning, collect all the documents. So obviously, to get the documents in place, they're going to provide you a proper checklist, and this is a personalized checklist. Unlike other independent institutions where they give you like a standard checklist, Yandan actually gives you a customized checklist which is required for your application, because it's very very important. What might apply to me is not what applies to the second or third person, right? So it's very important that you get a personalized checklist, and it's not like you give documents in bits and pieces, right? Like what happens is first you submit your PAN and your Aadhaar and your ITN and all those things, and then the bank goes in like silent mode, right? And then you need to follow up, and then they'll tell you, oh no no, we wanted two more documents. So instead of that, they are going to this AI tool, or the counselors which is assigned to you, are going to analyze your portfolio and give you a personalized checklist, so that the documents, you just need to prepare the documents, either email it to them, or they might have a link to upload, or else they will send a person to actually pick it up. And like I told you, all this is of free of charge, and they will also assign a counselor for you. So it is very important to have a point of contact in such kind of services. What happens with a general scenario wherein I had to go, I had to like get in contact with multiple people. I didn't know whom to talk to, I didn't know whom to ask, what questions to ask, things like that. So in this case, you will be given a personalized counselor who will work on your case, and you don't need to be worried about whom you need to contact. They are in touch with you. They will tell you what documents are required, what is the next step. They will keep you updated about the entire process. And before all this, the counselor will have a personal call with you and then understand your requirement. And other than the AI analyzing that happened, they will also understand your requirement, as of what is that you need. How much is your tuition fee, how much you need to pay for GIC, what is your living expense, what is the split, and those kind of things. So all these kind of things are there. And also it is very important that you know how to negotiate, or you know how to segment your expenses and give it to the bank, right? So most of the cases, what happens is the bank or the financial institution, they'll give you a higher amount, or they will give you an amount which you might not be looking for, or they might charge you a high interest fee or things like that. But with this counselor in place, they know your case really well. They are the one who are going to negotiate with the bank. They are the ones who are going to tell them what amount is required, because they have already talked to you and understood your needs. So I find the service absolutely amazing. You should definitely try it out. I personally haven't tried it because I'm already in Canada, so I'm not intending to try it, since I'm not planning to take another course. But since you guys are going to come to Canada and you want an education loan, I would highly suggest you try them. Click the link below, see your eligibility, see if you qualify. If possible, have like a consultation with one of their counselors, see how it goes. And I feel it is an excellent service, considering the fact that I was not able to avail this. I really wanted something like this, mainly because it's so much easier, right? Like I found the same thing with IDP when I was in Bangalore, because they were like a one-stop solution to actually guide me during my study. I mean, when I was applying for my study permit, I would highly recommend you also avail their services. Even though you need to do all the documentation and all those things by yourself, IDP is a good source wherein you can actually understand things about Canada, or which colleges to apply and things of that sort. So the same way, I'm also recommending Yandan. I think you should really try it out. The reason why I'm going on looking on that side is because there's a door and people are like walking and checking what I'm doing here. Yeah. So like I told you, definitely don't go by what I'm saying. Go by what their Google review says. Go by their services. Talk to them. You don't need to blindly go and sign up with them. Talk to them, understand everything, and then go ahead with it. And also, one important thing I realize is people like me who are not at all financially people who are financially knowledgeable, we tend to take up hasty decisions, right? Especially in my case, all these interest rates, negotiations, fixed rate, floating rate, all these things goes above my head. So you really need a person who knows a job, okay, and that's what your counselor will be. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend Gyandan, but again, I haven't used it personally, so I would suggest you to try it out, talk to them, see if this works for you, and if at all it works for you, then good. You can also check their YouTube channel. They have several videos which they have updated regarding the process, things to do, things not to do, and things of that sort. or else you can go to their website, which is www.gyandan.com, or else check their Google reviews. And the best thing is, the easiest link is you click on the link below because it's just one click. So that's all, guys. I hope you like the video. I hope you find this useful. Try out the services. Let me know how it goes. If it's good, if it's bad, if it didn't work out for you, if it worked out for you, give me your feedback. And if you have already availed this service at one point of time, comment below and tell me whether what is your feedback. So if you like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Send it to your friends who are planning to come to Canada or any other country. It's just not Canada, they provide education loan, they provide for all countries. I know friends who've gone to Australia using their services. So that's all, guys.